Now today we will discuss about the fate of the pharyngeal cleft and the pouches. In the previous class we have discussed about the pharyngeal apparatus. This pharyngeal apparatus consists of pharyngeal arches. These arches are the formed by the condensation of the mesenchyme. These mesenchyme are derived from the paraxial mesoderm, lateral plate mesoderm, and from the neural crescents. Now, these pharyngeal arches are lined outside by this surface ectoderm, that is skin. Now, between these individuals adjacent arches there is a groove. These grooves are known as the pharyngeal cleft. So these clefts are 4 in numbers. Between the first and the second arch, this is the first cleft, second, third and the fourth cleft. These clefts, what are the pharyngeal clefts? These pharyngeal clefts are depression on the surface ectoderm between the adjacent arches. Now the pouches. If you see the inside, it is lined by the endoderm. And between two pharyngeal arches, there is further depression on the inside. But these are lined by the endoderm and these are known as the pharyngeal pouches. Now, in today's class, we will discuss what is the result, what structures are formed from these clefts and the pouches. These pouches are also 4 in number, from cranial to caudal, first pouch, second, third and the fourth pouch. Now, first the pharyngeal cleft are grooved. The first cleft, this is the first cleft. This first pharyngeal cleft is present between the first and the second arch, and it dips to form the external acoustic meatus. The external acoustic meatus and its lining is formed by the first ectodermal cleft. This is the external auditory meatus. And it also forms the outer lining of the tympanic membrane. The tympanic membrane, it is made up of the 3 layers: outer, intermediate and the inner. The outer layer, this outer layer is formed by this cleft, that is the ectoderm. While the inner layer, it is formed by the first pouch, that is the endoderm, and the intermediate layer, it is formed by the mesoderm. Means the tympanic membrane has all the 3 layers. From outside to inside, it is the ectoderm, mesoderm and the endoderm. So the first cleft, this first cleft forms the external acoustic, external auditory meatus and the outer lining of the tympanic membrane. Now what happens to the rest of the cleft? That is the second, third and the fourth. This second, third and the fourth cleft obliterate. And they do not form any structures. This second pharyngeal arch elongates, grows rapidly and forms a lid, operculum. This is the lid, and this is formed by the excess growth, rapid growth of this second arch, and this second arch grows downwards and this fuse with this epicardial crease. As a result of which this second, third and the fourth cleft obliterated, and they do not form any structures in the embryo. As a result of fusion, in the early stage of the life, there is a formation of the cavity, sinus. This is the lateral cervical sinus present on the both sides. This lateral cervical sinus, it is a cavity. Cavity. Sinus means cavity, and it is formed due to the fusion of this overgrowth operculum of the second pharyngeal arch with this epicardial ridge. This is the lateral cervical sinus. This cavity is the lateral cervical sinus. Generally, this is obliterated, disappear after the growth. But if this cyst is sinus persists after the birth, it persists, then it forms a swelling. This swelling, it is the congenital swelling, it is known as the bronchial cyst. This bronchial cyst, it is formed when this lateral cervical sinus does not obliterate, disappear, and it forms a swelling. This swelling is the bronchial cyst, and it is present along the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid muscles. Anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid muscles, there is a swelling, and this swelling is present near the angle of the mandible. So, if this lateral cervical sinus persists, it forms the cyst. Sometimes this lateral cervical sinus communicate with the exterior as well as interior. Communicate means open on the surface of the skin. This is the skin, or inside into the pharynx, and the most common side is the tonsil, palatine tonsil. So, if this cyst opens exterior or interior, this is known as the bronchial fistula. It is a fistula. This cyst changes into the fistula when it communicates with the exterior or interior. And it is also, this opening is also present along the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid muscles, either at the junction of the upper 1/3, lower 2/3, or at the junction of the lower 1/3 and the upper 2/3. Now, the important is the pharyngeal pouches. In the pharyngeal cleft, the only first cleft form the important structures, that is the external auditory meatus. The rest of the cleft disappear. Now, there are 4 pharyngeal pouches. This is the first one, second, third, and the fourth, from cranial to caudal. Each pouch has the dorsal part. This is the dorsal part, and ventral part. This is the ventral part. In case of the first pouch, the first pouch, it is present between the first and the second arch. The ventral part of first pouch is obliterated by the formation of the tongue. Tongue is formed. This is the floor of the pharynx. This is the floor. On this floor, there is a formation of the tongue also. The tongue, these are the 2 lateral lingual swellings, and this is the tuberculum impar. It will be discussed in the development of the tongue. So these swellings are formed in relation with the first arch, and the ventral part of this first pouch is obliterated by the formation of the tongue. Only remaining it is the dorsal part. So this is the dorsal part of the first pouch, along with a contribution from the dorsal part of the second pouch. The dorsal part of the first and the second pouch forms a diverticulum, and this diverticulum form known as the tubotympanic recess. Tubotympanic recess. What is tubotympanic recess? This tubotympanic recess is a diverticulum pouch which is formed by the dorsal part of the first as well as the second pouch. This tubotympanic recess, in the further development, it is divided into the two parts. It is the cranial part and the caudal part.